Hi all, and welcome to tonight's video where I'm going to be talking a little bit about how secure attachers love. So we've done all the insecure attachment styles the last three nights. So today I thought I would answer a question that I get quite a lot, and that is, what's it like? If you've ever wondered what it really means to love in a secure way, what it actually looks and feels like, this one is for you. So secure love isn't flashy. Let me put that out there straight away. It's not flashy in the slightest. It's not about constant reassurance. It's not about dramatic highs and lows or needing to prove your worth or anything like that. It's the quiet, steady confidence that says, I trust you, I trust myself, and I trust that we'll work through things together. So, after talking about anxious and dismissive avoidance and fearful avoidant patterns over the last few days, today we're exploring the other end of the spectrum, secure attachment. And this is the version of love that feels calm and consistent and free. So the essence of secure love, for securely attached people, love isn't a battlefield. They don't chase it, they don't run from it, they kind of meet it where it is. So love for them is something that flows. It's not about getting or keeping, it's about sharing and growing. And that's because deep down, secure attachers carry one core belief, and that is I'm worthy of love and I can rely on others without losing myself. That's it really. One core belief. I am worthy of love and I can rely on others without losing myself. By the way, if you're an insecure attachment style, that is a great mantra to repeat to yourself until you believe it, until it's like in there. So that belief was usually built in childhood, not because their parents were perfect, nobody's are, but because their caregivers were good enough. I spoke about this in another video about good enough parenting. So when they cried, someone came. And when they messed up, they were corrected with love, not fear. And when something went wrong, repair followed rupture, or conflict, whatever you want to call it. So those small, consistent experiences taught their brain and their body the world is safe. I can trust connection. The world is safe. I can trust connection. And that's what allows secure adults to approach love with openness instead of anxiety, with curiosity instead of control, and courage instead of avoidance, basically. So, what does secure love feel like? Predominantly, secure love feels peaceful. It's that moment you realize you don't have to earn affection. You can just be, just as you are. It's knowing that someone can love you even when you're having a bad day, even when you're not your most charming or put together self. You can have the most horrendous day, but somebody will still love you, and you know that. And it feels emotionally steady. So you can have disagreements without fearing they'll end the relationship. You can miss each other without worrying it means abandonment. You can ask for what you need without feeling like you're too much. So, secure love feels like freedom inside connection. It's, I can be close to you and I can still be me, basically. And that's like a radical concept for anyone who's lived their life or lived most of their life in anxious or avoidant patterns. So, how does secure attachers show love? How does this look in action? Well, secure attachers tend to communicate honestly. They say what they feel without playing games. They tend to offer reassurance freely because they're not afraid it'll make them look weak, and they're not ashamed of those feelings. So they tend to set boundaries without guilt because they trust that love can hold space for both people's needs. And they apologize when they're wrong and listen when their partner speaks. They see vulnerability as a bridge, not a threat. And when conflict happens, and it will in any relationship you ever have, there will be conflict. And if there isn't, it's because you're not comfortable with enough enough with each other to discuss the difficult things. So when conflict happens, and it will, they don't panic or withdraw. They focus on repair. They know disagreement doesn't mean disconnection. And that's the defining feature of secure love, basically. It's not about avoiding conflict or avoiding rupture, it's about trusting that repair is always possible afterwards. So why does secure love feel different to the insecurely attached? So if you grew up in anxious or avoidant dynamics, secure love can actually feel um, a little strange at first. It can feel almost boring compared to the emotional roller coaster you're used to. But that's not boredom, that's nervous system regulation, if you know what I mean. When you've spent years in fight or flight, your body associates intensity with love. So when peace arrives, it can feel like something's missing. There's no spark there, something's missing. But what's missing is the chaos. That is what is missing. That's why healing often starts with retraining your body to see calm as safety, not as emotional distance. So secure love isn't about the absence of emotion. It's not at all. It's the presence of safety. So it's the first time you can exhale in someone else's presence, basically. And for many people, especially if they have lived most of their life in a insecure attachment style, that's brand new. That's a completely new concept. It's alien. So, what can we learn from secure attachers? Well, you don't have to be born secure to become secure. That is the first and foremost, most important thing. Most of us will have grown up with an insecure attachment style. Most of us will have done. You don't have to be born secure to become secure. You can learn that later on. You can learn that at any point in life. Security isn't a gift, it's a skill, one that anyone can learn through practice, self awareness, and safe relationships. So, here's what secure people do differently. So, number one, they self regulate. They notice when they're triggered and they take space to calm down before reacting. They don't outsource emotional control to their partner. They take responsibility for their own state. That doesn't mean all the time. That doesn't mean they won't get triggered. They will sometimes. That won't doesn't mean they won't fly off the handle sometimes. They will, definitely. It just means that most of the time they can self-regulate their own emotions. They notice when they're triggered and they take the space to calm down before reacting to it. Number two is they're emotionally transparent. They don't make others guess what's wrong. They don't make you guess about how they feel about you. They communicate needs directly, kindly, and clearly, and you will always know how they feel about you and where you stand with them. They're emotionally transparent. There is no guesswork. So, number three is that they repair quickly. So instead of letting arguments fester, they come back with openness. I didn't like how we handled that. Can we try again? I'm sorry that I hurt you. How can we move forward from here? Or I felt hurt when this happened. How can we move forward from there? So they repair quickly. Number four is they allow interdependence. So we've all heard of independence, but this is interdependence. They're not overly independent or dependent. They're kind of somewhere in the middle. They know it's okay to rely on someone without losing themselves, and they also know it's okay to take space when they need it without, it being an abandonment issue. So, number five, they see love as a partnership, not as a project. They don't try to fix or be fixed. They grow with their partner. You don't want to be fixing somebody, especially if they don't want to be fixed. If they don't see that there's a problem, that is not our job. Our job is to grow with our partners. And sometimes growth is hard. Sometimes growth is hard, and it's messy sometimes, but we're there for it. So the path to secure love. So how do you start moving towards this kind of love? Oh, you know what? I should make notes on these things sometimes. Um, so the path is both simple and profound, really. It starts by becoming the safe person you've always wanted someone else to be, basically. So what you are seeking in somebody else, it's about you becoming that person. So, and what do I mean by that? When you learn to regulate your emotions, to soothe your inner child, to communicate instead of react, you rewire your attachment patterns. So over time, your nervous system begins to believe, I can love without losing myself. And you start attracting or transforming the relationships that mirror that belief. So I'm not sure if I'm being very clear here. I really should have made notes. It it doesn't mean you'll never be triggered. It means you'll know how to stay steady when you are. Because real healing isn't about finding someone who never triggers you. It's about learning to stay safe within yourself even when they do. And it's about knowing that your worth, your likability, your lovability, it doesn't necessarily rely on somebody else. It doesn't rely on someone else because you feel that within yourself. You are sure of your own self. You love yourself enough to not need that reassurance from outside of you. Whatever you need, you can give to yourself. I mean, it's nice to outsource sometimes. It's nice to have a partner that you can rely on like that, but we don't need it to know that we are okay, basically. So, if you've never experienced this kind of love, that's okay, by the way. A lot of people haven't. Secure attachment isn't something you missed out on. It's not something you've missed out on and will never have. It's something you can build. So you build it every time you pause instead of panic, every time you speak your truth without shame, or every time you show compassion to yourself instead of criticism. That's what reparenting looks like at the end of the day. That's what becoming secure feels like. And one day you'll look at your relationships and realize that they actually feel really peaceful. Not because the world changed, but because you did. So, um, so if love has felt exhausting to you and unpredictable or unsafe, please know that peace is absolutely possible. Peace is absolutely possible. I am like a poster child for that. I lived over 40 years of my life in a severely anxious state, and I am no longer in that state. So it is absolutely possible because secure love isn't about perfection. That's not what it's about. It's about presence. And the most beautiful thing about secure attachment is this: you don't have to earn it. You don't have to earn it. You can learn it starting today. So that's me for tonight. I will be back. I can't even remember what I was going to talk about tomorrow, but I will be back tomorrow. I've been here for the last 25 days. I'm definitely turning up for 26. So I will speak to you all tomorrow. Take care all. Bye.